Welcome to Serving Ways of Autism with me, Damian. I'm going to be starting a new segment of my channel called Autism Mom Talks. This is going to be me and my mom talking about all things autism and my journey with autism. Today is just going to be an introduction of my mom, and we will talk a little about my diagnosis of autism. I was diagnosed with autism right before my 3rd birthday, and my parents split up right after my 5th birthday. I have lived with just my mom ever since. We have lived with different roommates sometimes over the years, but mostly just me and my mom. My dad was in and out of my life after they split up, and he was mostly in North Carolina, so I didn't always see him a lot. Just recently in September, he passed away unexpectedly, but there is a tribute video of him here on my channel if you would like to see more of that. So, back to my mom. She did a lot for me after I was diagnosed. She got me into a school program that I started at 3 years old and into all kinds of therapies. She knows me and my autism better than anyone. My mom grew up in New Jersey and moved to Florida in 1988 when she was 18 to go to college at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. She graduated college in 1992 and decided to remain living in South Florida. She met my dad, Raymond, in 1997, and they were married in 2002. I was also born in 2002. I was diagnosed with autism in 2005. She has worked in catering and real estate over the years. She is the best mom because she always takes care of me. Now, here she is. My mom, Tracy.
Thanks, Damian. I'm happy to be here today to help talk with you.
So, I know I told them some things about you, but could you tell them a little bit more?
Sure. Like Damian said, I moved down here to Florida when I was 18 to go to college at FAU, Florida Atlantic University, where he wants to go now. And I met your dad in 97, and we got married in 2002, and we had you in 2002, which we were actually engaged in 2001, planning our wedding, and then we found out, that I was pregnant with you, so we had you, and then the wedding 4 months later. And then when you got diagnosed right before your 3rd birthday, and then your dad left when you were
5.
Yes, right after you turned 5, he left. And we were separated, and then we were divorced a couple of years later. It's been me and you mostly.
Tell me about getting my autism diagnosis.
Well, okay, so around 2, we noticed you weren't talking, and we were getting concerned, and you had a couple words, but then you stopped saying them, and we thought maybe you just had a speech delay. So I asked the pediatrician. She said, just get him checked for his speech. So I had called the state. They sent someone to the house to check you for your speech. In the meantime, someone had suggested to me that maybe you had autism because you used to spin yourself in a circle and stare at one point while you did it. So I asked the pediatrician about autism, and she's like, no, I don't think he has autism. And I said, okay, well, what should I do? And so when the speech people came to the house and did this speech evaluation, they said, no, it's just a speech delay, don't worry. So we had different speech therapists coming to the house. And finally, one of the speech therapists was watching you, and you were lining up your toys and stuff. And he said to us, to me and your dad, you need to get him tested for autism. And we were like, what? Because at that point, I had asked the pediatrician 3 different times, and every time she told me, no, it's not autism, don't worry. So it was a month before your 3rd birthday. We took you to get tested. It was a 3-hour test. It was long. And at the end of it, they came in the room and said to your dad and I, he has mild to moderate autism. And we were like, well, what does that mean? And they said, well, it means he may never speak. He'll never tell you he loves you. He'll never have pretend play. He'll never have an imagination. And all these things they kept saying that you would never do. Mm-hmm. And I said, wait a minute, stop. Stop telling me what he won't do. Tell me what he will be able to do. And they said, we don't know. And I said, well, if you don't know what he will be able to do, how do you know what he won't be able to do? And they didn't have an answer for me there. So after that, it was, it was hard at first. It was upsetting. But, our whole world got changed. But I remember that night looking at you in your crib sleeping, and I was, touching your head, and I looked at you and I thought, this is still my baby boy, and I love him no matter what. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure he has the best life ever. Mm-hmm. And you have surpassed all my expectations, and you're still going. And I'm so proud of you. I couldn't be prouder. Mm-hmm. One thing I learned about your diagnosis is there were signs that I didn't at the time know were signs of autism, because the only thing I knew about autism was the movie Rain Man. But you used to spin, you used to line up all your toys. When you got excited, you would flap your hands, but I just thought you were excited. When you would watch TV or music was playing, you would rock, which you still do. But I didn't realize that you also did it when nothing was on. So those were little telltale early signs that we had no idea about. Because like I said, when you got diagnosed, we knew nothing about autism except the movie Rain Man. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't a lot. Yeah. And luckily after that, well, I guess not luckily, but after that, more and more children were getting diagnosed. And so autism became more talked about. And it was easier to find therapies. It was easier to find resources as we progressed. In the very beginning, it was a little hard, but it got easier to find the resources that we needed as we went along. I do remember in the beginning feeling guilty that maybe I did something or it was my fault that you had autism. I know now that's not how it works, and that's not the case. I remember being at the park with you and someone asked about the way you were acting or how you weren't talking, and I was just like, oh, he has a speech delay. I felt funny saying that you had autism. I felt embarrassed by it almost. But now I tell people, because look what you've done since then. It's been awesome. I couldn't be prouder of you. So you have done a lot. And I know you're going to do great things and more. Yeah. And that's basically, the gist of the diagnosis. I guess we'll talk another time about what we did after that diagnosis, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, thanks, Mom, for talking with me today. We will talk again soon about other autism things. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Give a thumbs up if you like the video, and click the bell to get notifications for new videos. So, thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, and thank you, Mom.
Thanks, babe.